Hey, what's up? It's Rob Gordon, the Wingman. I'm about to get ready for a trip tomorrow to Lake Mohave, and I thought for like a little different video, I would give you guys some tips on what I do to take these really quick overnight road trips. This one's just going to be a short trip, just an overnight trip, and maybe I'll do another for like a longer trip. On these short trips, I don't really need to go to the grocery store if I don't want to, because you can always go out to eat in Mojave if you're... Oh, look, I cut myself shaving. You can always go out to eat like at the casinos if you're on the south side. If you're on the north side of the lake, then yeah, it helps to have food. And I'm probably going to go to the north side of the lake for this trip. But, you know, since I was out getting some new GoPro batteries, so I figured I'd just go in there and check for a couple of things.
In the winter when it's cold, I like to have some soup when I camp, some ramen or something. This is the spicy shrimp ramen I went with. Another trick is to get evaporated milk so you can have cereal in the morning. You just mix it with water and then you don't have to cook oatmeal or eggs or something else. Non-perishable as well. Definitely should get some granola bars or power bars for when you're out winging. Keep it simple for dinner with some mac and cheese, and I grab an extra just in case another day or I get stranded. If I'm going to be working hard, I like to get some protein as well. So I do canned chicken or tuna. On this trip, I got a little mystery meat I'll surprise you with. For dessert, I like these candy gingered gluten-free cookies. They're awesome from Tate's. Definitely want to have extra batteries always in your car for your headlamp. You don't want to get stuck in the dark, especially if you're reading a lot. It can really dim the light. And it's really dry out there, and I wing for like 4 hours a day sometimes, so got to get some Gatorade too. The total came to $33.56, but you have to subtract $14 for some pot stickers and fried rice I bought for that night. Not as bad as I expected, but I'll probably spend more money on snacks on the road. The one cool thing I want to point out is these fuel points. If you shop at Kroger, this is a Ralph's. If you shop at Kroger brand, you get fuel points at Shell, and it can make a huge difference, like up to 70 cents off a tank of gas. And you just take all that food you just bought, put it in your food box. I'll talk about the food box a little bit more later, but I just use a cardboard one so that if I drip grease on it, it just absorbs and then I can throw out the box when it gets dirty. Don't forget to also bring a can opener. That's one crucial bit of information. I also bring this cooler that's mostly just for odds and ends like GoPro stuff, sunscreen, cord, and sail tape. Don't forget sail tape. Really important if you're going somewhere where you need to be able to fix your wing. Sometimes I put drinks in here, but it's not for keeping stuff cold. It's really just a utility box at this point.
So this is it used to be like a movie theater room. Now it's become like my wing storage room. And what an absolute disaster. What a state this place is in. You can see my sewing machine there, my skateboard, wetsuits. So I keep all of my camping gear just ready to go. If I want to do like a last minute trip, it's just ready. I don't have a garage like some people. Oh, do I want to drive 5 hours to Mojave? If the gear is there and ready to go, it's not such a big question. You're like, all right, it'll take me literally 20 minutes to pack up and I can be on the road. And that turned my wing hire box into a new food box. Essentials here ready to go as well. I got the gas for the stove, some trash bags, Ziploc bags, DEET, hatchet, water purifier, which I don't use on these trips, and then toilet paper and paper towels. You might have noticed that my towel is drying on a wheelchair, like an old wheelchair. That's a movie prop from a movie I made like 10 years ago. Any trip, even if it's in the summer, if I'm going up to the mountains or something, I always bring a warm jacket. This one's got wind breaking. That's huge for wind sports. A warm, like sweater, a beanie, long johns, top and bottom, and then like warm pants, like sweatpants. There's some rain planned, so I always have a rain jacket. Because you just never know. You never know what's going to happen at night and stuff. And it's going to be fairly warm this weekend, but if I go to the north side of the lake, it could get down into like the low 40s or 30s at night. I don't know. I haven't checked. But if I don't use it, I just throw it back in the closet. I don't have to wash it or anything. But you're always going to be so much happier if you're warm. And also for safety, like when I go up in the mountains, I always try and have enough stuff to stay overnight, just in case. You never know. I usually stack the non-wing stuff up just to make sure I have everything. I have my clothes bag. This is like a little accessory bag. Then I have 2 sleeping bags. Yes, 2. They're like 20-degree bags. With 2 of them, I'm just so much more comfortable if it's really cold. And I don't have to close it up. I use one on the bottom, one on the top, or one on the bottom, one on the top. It works great. That's my dad's old bag from Alaska. It's like from the 60s or something. It's a great bag. And then I have like this 3-inch foam that I sleep on, which is so nice. And then I bring a tent, even though I won't use a tent. I'll just sleep in my car. And look, I could probably get all my clothes just in that bag for this trip. I don't even need to change clothes. I'm not going out because I'm going to go to the north side of the lake. I'm not going to a casino or anything. But I'm just kind of showing you guys what I would do. So then I wait till the morning to put in my toiletries and also pillows. I bring 4 pillows. We want this to be pleasant. If it's not pleasant, then that's why people don't like camping. You try and make it pleasant without being too much work. So I have to come down here to get my water tank. I only have to fill it up every once in a while. I keep it in the car to rinse off my wing gear, but I haven't filled it up in a while. Water jug, I was telling you, just stays in here so I can rinse gear, and then I have this little rag to wipe it off. You'll also see I put the back down, and then I take the seat off so I can shove that all the way up. All my gear when I sleep goes on this side, and then I set my mat up on this side, and I'm able to get a really good, comfortable sleeping situation. Also, don't forget, if you're going to be driving a lot, long ways, tire pressure going to get you better mileage. I got the hybrid, so I don't really worry about it too much. I usually get 33 with this beautiful Ford Escape with 180,000 miles on it. So there's a reason this thing stays in the car, because it weighs a freaking ton once you fill it up. But yeah, I can usually get like a week worth of desert camping out of this with cooking, meals and washing up a bit, filling up my water bottle for hikes.
Don't forget to charge up all of your batteries the night before. It's just much easier than when you're in the car. This is the GoPro Enduro batteries. I highly recommend them over the standard battery because they have longer life and they work a lot better in hot and cold weather. This is a battery pack that I use to charge my phone or GoPro batteries if the car is off, that kind of thing. It's also got solar panels, which, look, they don't charge up the battery pack nearly fast enough to be efficient that way. But if you're out backpacking and you want to make sure that you always have the ability to make an emergency call or check your GPS, it's a really nice safety feature. So the last thing you want to do, and also the first thing you want to do, is check the weather. It was not good in LA. That's why I decided to make this trip. If we look at Friday, it looks like there's some wind, but it's the wrong direction. That's like stormy, rainy, no good wind. Saturday, not very much at all. So that's why I decided to look at Mojave and see what it was looking like. The blend forecast model works pretty good for Mojave. This is on the north side, Cottonwood 6 Mile. You can see there's a lot of wind on Friday. Saturday, not quite as much. Down south, quite a bit of wind, a little bit more chance of rain, I think it said, and it's a little bit warmer. Both look pretty good, but it's just on a south wind, it's going to be better conditions up north. The wind's going to get big old wind swell, and it just gets a little bit stronger wind. It's going to be a little colder, though. And then I just check out the weather app to see what the temps are. LA, rain. So we know we're not going to get any winging in LA. That's why we're doing this trip. And then you scroll past all the other cities I keep on my phone just to see what other wing destinations are looking like. And then we get to Searchlight, which is closer to the northern side of the lake. And we see wind Friday, Saturday, wind, and then temps 60 degrees. And then it was down to 39 the night before, but only down to 50 during this trip. But it'll probably feel colder at night. And then Laughlin is closer down south. We don't see the wind icons, but we do see a little bit higher temps. And that's a good spot to go if it's blowing a north wind or if it's cold. And then after that, I'm pretty much ready to go to bed and get ready for the trip the next day. Sounds like a lot of stuff to do, but once you get into the routine, it doesn't take long.
It's 4:45 in the morning. I woke up a little bit before my alarm. It's the worst part of the trip is getting up early. And it is raining, so it is confirming my decision to go on this trip. So, almost fell there. Luckily the rain is not too bad right now. All right, so it took me about 15 minutes. Pretty much all packed up. It's only about 4 trips up and down the stairs, so that's not too bad. Yeah, so just do a quick, dummy check. Got pillows, I've got my wings, board, foil bag. I had 2 sleeping bags, have my food box and that stuff, water. As long as I have all my foil stuff, that's the main thing, because I'm not going for very long, so worst case scenario, I'd be good with just my foil stuff and sleeping bags. It's like 5:17. Took me like another 15 minutes to get ready, which is really not bad. Oh wow, there's someone out walking their dog really early in the rain. You know, so it's really not that bad. 30 minutes to get on the road. So yeah, it sucks to wake up, but I don't even eat breakfast. I don't, you know, there's no reason to shower. I'm just gonna get in the water pretty soon. If you have a garage or a van and you've got, you know, the ability just to leave your stuff in your car overnight, you could be on the road in a few minutes and then, you know, you're on your way to fun. So I am on my way to fun now. All right, so let's use these Shell points, Shell fuel points. So yeah, $4.99. Then you come up here and put in your rewards. What else rewards? I'll put in my phone number. And then we earned 40 cents off today, so that's good. Not too bad. Normally I don't stop here, but I'm kind of hungry. And there's a Del Taco. All right, thank you, Del Taco. Finally out of the rain. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, it's so far, like, I don't know, I don't want to go up there. And I get it, you know, especially for people with families, 5-hour drive, and you only have the weekend, and that's it, and then you're back to work. I like to make sure that there's a forecast of 2 good days of wind. If it looks good for 2 days, then you're not going to get skunked. Once I'm in the car, you know, I listen to music. I have Pandora. I pay like $5 a month to get no commercials on Pandora. I'll listen to podcasts like This American Life or How I Built This. If I'm feeling productive, I'll listen to like a medicine podcast or even do some continuing education lectures so I can get those credits. Sometimes I'll call my parents and talk to them. Yeah, I get snacks on the road and I get to go camping and get out of the city. On the north side of Lake Mohave, you can camp for free if you have the annual National Parks Pass, which is like $80 a year, and that gets you into like every national park and other places like Lake Mohave. On the south side of Lake Mohave, you can't camp right on the beach for free, but you can. There's a campsite there that it's not too expensive. I don't know what it costs. And then there are some other options. You can drive, you know, into town and, you know, sleep in the casino parking lot, or there's some BLM land that you can find as well. So there are some options on the south side, but on the north side, it's great. You just pull into one of the coves and you can sleep right there, like a few feet away from the water. It's beautiful. The other thing for me is I'm not doing anything else at home, really, so I just camp outside and have a nice night, and then I wing again. If I go for like 3 days, then it really starts to pay off and be worth it.
And this is a dirt road that takes you down to 6 Mile Cove, 9 Mile Cove. There's better roads on the south side, but you know, you don't need a 4-wheel drive or anything like that. A little bit of height helps, but the road is pretty manageable. Maybe not after a rain.
Frame rate does not like looking at this LED, but you can see on the right, external temp climbing to 70. Thank goodness. All right, so it's already windy at Mohave. It's not too cold. The water is much higher than last time I was here, only like a month ago. You can see out there, that's where I put my camera, and that whole log was out of the water last time I was here. But that'll make for good filming, I think, if I put the GoPro up there. It just occurred to me that maybe the water gets higher when the south wind is pushing it up closer to shore, whereas when it's a north wind, it's pushing away. I don't know if that has an effect or not.
But yeah, so on a south wind, if you want bigger swell and chop, you go to the north part of the lake, and then you also get cleaner wind, and it's usually stronger. There's a bunch of different coves. 6 Mile is good for south wind, and there's a bathroom there. But that cove can get a little bit crowded with people. Not too bad, but more people. I go to some of the other unnamed coves that don't have bathrooms, and so there's usually less people, and they're a little further out. On a north wind, you'll want to go down to the south side of the lake or down to 9 Mile Cove usually. There's some other secret spots, but it's going to be a good day today, I think. And it was a good day. It was a great day. The wind was almost perfect. It was a little bit gusty, but it was really good. I was rusty because it hasn't been that windy. I just worked 6 out of 7. I started this new job, so I haven't been winging as much as I would have liked. I'm a little bit out of shape, but I was still able to land a few flacas, crash on a lot of them. This one right here, I barely pull out. I have to really fight for it. But it was great. The water was a little bit cold, but the air was a decent temperature. It was kind of overcast. So I'm doing some back winding, pretty powered right there. I'm barely able to control it. I had to finally kick out of it. All right, I did one session. I'm trying to hide from the wind here. I'm like crouching behind the car. It's probably still gonna be noisy. Pretty good, like 5.0, kind of gusty, but like perfect 5.0, small foil. I'm testing out the new GoPro, and seems pretty good. I'm gonna try and get another freestyle session in. I wasn't really going off, but hopefully this session I will. Whew! That was a big one. Time to rig down. That was big. It's just proper nuking now, like true Lake Mohave conditions. Getting really out of control on the 5. So I'm just gonna rig up a smaller wing and a big foil and try and ride some of this lake swell. I rigged up my 4 and I put on this top secret higher aspect foil, but I don't know what happened. By the time I got out there, I don't know if the wind just died or if in the middle of the lake there was some big lulls, but there wasn't the big swell that I had seen earlier, and it wasn't like that windy. There was times when I couldn't even get up on the 4. So these were the best rides I could do. They were like, 25 seconds each or something. But if it had still been blowing like it was, like 30 miles an hour, and definitely if it was blowing more like 35 to 40, I think I could just downwind the whole lake. And this isn't like a huge foil. It's got a lot of glide, but and definitely if I did like a really big foil, like the HPS 1050 maybe, or for sure like the 1310 or something, or 1300. I don't know. Downwinding was a failure. I don't know. The wind kind of got lighter when I was out there. There was times I couldn't even get going on the 4 for a little while. It was kind of disappointing. And now I'm kind of cold. It's like 3 o'clock. I think I might call it a day. And once I get done packing up, I roll out my foam mat on one side. I start stacking my gear on the other side. And that way I have a nice, comfortable spot set up for when it gets cold or when I'm tired or just ready to go to bed. The view from the bedroom is pretty much as good as it gets. But you know what? I did enough to deserve a diet squirt. And some of the cookies we bought yesterday. Oh, you can't beat it. I'm about 20 feet from the water. Probably cook dinner and then read a book and just enjoy the rest of the day. Stove is in a state as well. I've had this for forever. It doesn't even work. I have to just keep it down by pressure. This is the first course, some spicy shrimp ramen. Well, that ramen was the bomb. That was so good. But it is starting to rain a little bit again. You can see there's like some fog or something over there. But hopefully it'll pass. While I'm waiting for my meal number 2,
to cook. Look, I'm a big boy. I need to keep my calories up. I don't want to get too skinny. Mac and cheese meal, which has a lot to live up to because that ramen was incredible. I'm going to show you a couple other things I do, a couple of tricks, how to clean up my face and brush my teeth in the car. Because sometimes you want to have a little snack in the car, and you don't want to get back out because it's cold and dark and scary. So this is the first trick, baby wipes. I bought these like 2 years ago. They're still good. Look, they get dried out, but it doesn't matter. You just, pour some water on them and they're good to go. And you can clean up anything you need to clean up, like your face or whatever. The other thing I do is I usually get the smaller Gatorades. Usually I'll drink 1 or 2 of those during the day, and then I'll fill one with water, and then I'll use the other one. I'll keep it empty, and I use it for brushing my teeth. That may seem gross to people who don't camp and stuff, but it's not. You just, I don't want to get out when it's cold. Sometimes I'm stealth camping in like a, parking lot or on a residential street, and you just want to be able to brush your teeth before bed and not have to do it like drive somewhere just to brush your teeth or something. So that's really handy. So we got the mac and cheese yesterday, and I talked about a protein. I went really out of left field here, and I got these chicken Vienna sausage that we're going to chop up and put in the mac and cheese. I don't know if it's going to be good. It might be disgusting. I'm going to have to be honest, these Vienna sausage are pretty good. All right, we got mac and cheese with chicken Vienna sausage. And then the secret to clean it up when car camping is lots of paper towels. All right, so, usually after I'm done cooking, I'm pretty tired and it starts to get cold. I'm a little cold right now because it started to rain and whatnot. I wasn't wearing my rain jacket. But, just make sure you have your water and, like I said, the stuff to brush your teeth. I have this little shelf made by my board, and I keep, my clothes, my book, my headphones, toiletries are up there. So I can brush my teeth and wash my face with the baby wipes. Yeah, I have them over there. Do some reading and just relax. So I can just hop into the front seat. I put stuff in the passenger seat. If some sketchy characters show up, usually it's okay, but I was at 6 Mile Cove one time with another winger, and we're sitting around the campfire, and he tells me the story about some couple that one of them got murdered, the other one was there the rest of the night, and some crazy guy shot them, and they never caught the guy. Next time you're at 6 Mile, think about that when it's getting dark and you're alone. If I'm in some sketchy spot, I usually sleep with my clothes on. I park always so I can just jump in the front seat and all my stuff's ready to go. And then I can just book it out of here. I do have some means of protection. Let's be honest. One time I was camped in the causeway in Tampa Bay, and a cop woke me up at 2 a.m. right after I'd just fallen asleep, and it was terrifying. There was nothing I could have done if it had been a burglar. I was so out of it. I just started yelling, and the cop was just like, "What's wrong with you?" That's the one nice thing. If I'm somewhere sketchy, you can sleep in the car. Most people are really cool. 99% of the time you're going to be fine. But if you do get some people who are on the fringes of society, and you can sort of just tell, people who have been there for a long time, and they've got their clotheslines set up and a bunch of trash around their camp. And it's so sometimes if I see something like that, I'll just keep driving. I'll go to a different spot. I always feel safe in campsites for sure. I put my tent up in campsites usually. I'm a 6-foot dude. It's a privilege to travel around as a man. I feel bad for some of these young winger women who are doing it because they attract a bunch of weirdos. But they do it, and they crush it, so that's awesome. But I'm probably going to turn in pretty soon, or at least, stop recording. One other tip is just remember, it's good to rehydrate, but the more you rehydrate, the more you got to get out in the middle of the night and pee, and it's going to be cold out there. So I just move the light, and it's daytime in here now. And you can see, I have quite a bit of room. There's plenty of room. I got all this headroom and stuff. If you have 2 people, then you're going to have to come up with a different system to store the gear. I did have one ex-girlfriend who might fit in here. She was a good little travel partner, and she was little, so I could
probably squeeze her in here, but it would be pretty tight. One crucial thing, if you're going to sleep in your car or your truck, it's got to be long enough. I can lay all the way flat. My feet don't touch the tailgate, and that's huge. It might seem like a small thing, but if your feet are pressed against the tailgate, it's just not comfortable at all. And like I said, I have the 3-inch foam pad below me, and I make sure everything is perfectly flat. You're not going to sleep well and enjoy the night if you don't pre-plan. But I take out that seat cushion, I move the passenger seat all the way forward, and then I'm able to lay completely flat, nothing bumping me, and my feet not touching the tailgate. After you get used to it, like when you're traveling, I've done like 33 days on the road. After a little while, you get used to it, and it's pretty good. The tent is always better, though. The tent is money, for sure. Rise and shine. It's like 5:30. I slept pretty well. No other cars came. I had the whole place to myself last night. Got that powdered milk. Put it in the bowl first. Then add the water. Stir it up. Gotta stir it up a lot. And then I did these Kroger brand Tostitos. They're okay. I should have got the honey ones instead. These are a little bit bland. It's already pretty windy. It just picked up. It's 7 o'clock. And I see a lot of whitecaps, at least 6-0, maybe 5-0 by now. And the wind is supposed to go a little bit offshore as the day goes on. So it's a balancing act between getting out there when it's really cold and the wind is the right direction, or waiting until it's a little warmer and the wind is not as good. But it's really nice at Mohave, like a little bit later in the season when it gets really warm during the day. Like it'll be like 80 during the day or 90 even. And then it'll be like nice and cool at night for when you are hanging around camp and stuff. So this is how I set my camera up here. I'm on this log, and I put it up on top of the camera. I got my board all wrapped up. It's kind of a nightmare, but it's a pretty good filming location.
I spent most of that second day. The second day started out great. It was perfect 5-0, steady, just great. You know, landing a nice flocka here. And then I really just tried all my toe side and weak side tricks because I got to start landing those. And I'm super rusty. You can tell I'm just falling on the red. 3 attempts. There's just a little small railie there. Trying this grab backside 360, which I haven't landed yet. You know, doing a railie there, but getting kind of under it and falling. So I'm very rusty. This is a 540 attempt.
All right, so pretty good first sesh. Just working on some weak side tricks, some toe side stuff, taking a lot of crashes. Wind kind of got a little fluky now. It came down just a little bit, so I'm gonna give it a second and then see what happens. The wind died. I tried to rig my bigger foil, bigger wing, but it's still not really enough. It would probably take the 8-0 at this point. I've had a good session. I think I'm gonna call it a day. All right, I'm all packed up, and yeah, the wind is almost completely dead now, so guess it's gonna shift. Maybe I should have got out a little bit earlier, but I'm pretty happy with what I got. It was cold, and now I'm starving. I cannot wait to go get myself a gyro or gyro or whatever you call them at the Mad Greek, and I'll show you guys that when I get it.
When I go to the north side of the lake, I always try and stop in Baker, which is like halfway between LA and Vegas, to go to the Mad Greek. And they got these pork gyros that are incredible. And then I usually get the rice, but this time I got the fries, which are also good. The rice, you can put like all your drippings onto it and eat as like a second meal with that yogurt sauce. And then for dessert, pistachio baklava. I mean, it's just so good. I don't recommend getting gas in Baker because it's kind of expensive, but I did, and it's downhill, so I still had half a tank when I got back to LA.
All right, so I'm back in LA. Didn't take me that long. I took my time. I stopped at 8. It's not even 6 o'clock because the wind shut off pretty early. If I had to work tomorrow, I could do it. It wouldn't be a big issue. So for those people who work on 9 to 5, you go up Saturday morning, come back early on Sunday. Not bad at all. And I work a 12-hour shift. I could work tomorrow. Sure, no problem. It'll probably take me an hour to pack up and take a shower, which will be nice. I hope this gets people to think outside the box about going winging, different places and stuff. If you lived in Dallas, you could go down to Corpus Christi for the weekend, or Texas City for sure. That's even closer. They have like a pretty cool new wing/kite destination down there that Houston Kiteboarding has put together, and you can pay like a membership or like a weekly fee to camp there, and it's a really cool idea. I wish there was something like that in other places. But yeah, and it doesn't have to be from LA to Mojave. It could be LA to Rio Vista or the Bay Area. If the wind isn't looking good, if once you get your systems down, it's not that big deal to take a quick little trip. And you don't have to do it like me, like total dirtbag style. Stay in a hotel, get a van that had a little bit more room than my SUV. You can buy nice accessories, right? Like having the right accessories really makes the trip more fun. Like I spent a lot of money on those 3-inch foam mats that I have. I bought 2 of them. I think it was like $75, but this was like 10-15 years ago now. And when I put both of them on the bottom of my tent, it's like having like a full-size queen-size bed in there. It makes all the difference in the world. You're ready to get up the next morning. Having the 2 sleeping bags is huge. If it's really cold, being able to just put the other sleeping bag on top of the one you're in, oh my gosh, it makes a huge difference. Having the 2 burner stove, like it's instead of having just like a Whisper Light or some backpacking stove, the battery packs to recharge your electronics. That's awesome, because like I want to check my phone, especially if I'm by myself for like 33 days on the road, like one of the last trips I took. You want to stay in contact with people. You'd be surprised how quick you start feeling lonely and like, out of touch. I hope this was helpful. It's kind of a different video. It's not like pure wing stuff, but maybe when I go up to AWSI, I'll do another video. I'm even down, like if anyone else is going to AWSI, let me know. Or if you live like in the Bay Area or on the Oregon coast, I'll probably stop in those locations when I go up to AWSI again. And, we can meet up and we can wing together. We can get some footage of each other and, put it in the video, make it a cool travel video. Just a thought. Anyway, peace out. See you guys soon. Hopefully the wind will get better in LA. It's been like a crazy winter. See you guys later.